Folks, we apologize for that brief interruption, but you know, we are a small business and sometimes something happens around here we have to take care of immediately. Nothing big, nothing major, but we just had to take a quick break. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to go right back to that video, and where we're setting this up is this is Face the Nation. All four networks brought the Obama kids on and put them right there on a table, all four, okay? And they all just treated them, Chris Wallace, Fox, CBS, NBC, ABC, every one of them treated these kids, okay? Treated these kids like they were, treated these kids like they were the best thing that ever happened to this country. And it's time to get the discussion open. Now, we'll talk about the mental health side in a minute. Let's go back to this video that we were playing right before we took our break. You got it ready, Amanda?
Losing our lives. If you see how they treat each other in the office, if you see the nasty, dirty things going on with them, it's sad to think that that's what they're doing while 17 people are being slaughtered and gunned down only yards away from where we're sitting right now. And March for Our Lives has support from everybody. And at the end of the day, this isn't a red and blue thing. This isn't Democrats and Republicans. This is about everybody and how we are begging for our lives and we are getting support, but we need to make real change here, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
So, Emma, what is the plan? You say you want to spark a national movement. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to actually make it happen. What are you going to do?
Well, what we have set up right now, we have a website, March for Our Lives. We're going to be doing a march in March on Washington where we get students all over the country are going to be joining us. These kids are going to make this difference because the adults let us down. And at this point, I don't even know if the adults in power who are funded by the NRA, I don't even think we need them anymore because they're going to be gone by midterm election. There's barely any time for them to save their skins. And if they don't turn around right now and state their open support for this movement, they're going to be left behind because you are either with us or against us at this point.
We are giving a lot of the politicians that we feel neglected by a clean slate because that's the past and we understand that. But from here on, we are creating a badge of shame for any politicians who are accepting money from the NRA. It is a special interest group that has most certainly not our best interests in mind, and this cannot be the normal. This can be changed, and it will be changed. And anybody who tells you that it can't is buying into the facade that's being created by the people who have our blood on their hands.
David, a lot of people saw the reporting that you did from inside the school while the shooting was taking place, and I'm
Okay, I'm your host, BKP, NRA. If you have that on your, if you are an NRA member, could you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor, Amanda? Just Google how many members are in the NRA. Just Google that and let me know if you get that, okay?
All right, we're at the census for age 18 and over in NRA for this year is 5 million.
That's how many members? 5 million?
That's right.
Okay, all right. I thought there were more, but whatever it is, let's say 5 million. Okay, we'll go with that. If you are an NRA member, if you have a jacket with a badge that says NRA, if you have anything to do with the National Rifle Association, this will be considered a badge of disgrace, right? Is that what it's considered now? A badge of disgrace, according to these kids. The adults let us down. Those politicians. Now, man, I'm really wanting to ask you, did you hear this kid? Because we're breaking down words and sentences. Okay, did you hear this kid say the NRA, these politicians that link themselves with the NRA, okay, this Gomez girl, will be gone in the midterm elections?
I did. And I want to clarify that 5 million NRA members. The NRA has a chart up right here when you go on Google and you find out a little bit more information about the NRA. Of those 5 million NRA members, there's 81 million gun owners in America.
So 81 million gun owners, NRA.
And that's with registered guns.
With
you can still be a gun owner and not be an NRA member or have a registered gun. Let me just put that out there too.
Right. So I'm not an NRA member, not because I have anything against them. You follow what I'm saying? I'm just not a member of the NRA, but as a gun owner, I would say I support the NRA's, you know what I'm saying? So 81 million with guns. NRA, but you did hear will be gone in the midterm elections. You heard that.
I heard that.
Yeah, they'll be gone in the midterm elections. They are going to be gone. That is what the Gomez girl said. They are going to be gone. And the other kid said the NRA will be a badge of disgrace. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? I'm going to tell you something, okay? I remember high school pretty well. And I actually kept up with things in high school. Does that shock you, Amanda, that I kept up with politics in high school? I actually kept up with politics in high school. All right? And if somebody said the midterm elections were coming up when I was 17, I would be wondering what they were talking about. Like, I'm 17. I'm not focusing on midterms. Can you pick up that every single thing these kids are saying, somebody is writing the script? Is that the feeling you get? I really don't want to be alone on this.
I totally get that. And with this Gonzalez girl, I'm sitting here and reading a little bit about her because I haven't really kept up with her over the weekend. But it seems like she's just seeing some spotlight and just running with it. Just any little thing. She is so worked up. It's like seeing these kids so excited. It's like they think they're acting. That psychologically they are just now developing the sense of independence. And that's the truth. They don't know. They're not experienced enough to even have a thought on these things. And personally, I don't even believe that 18 should be an age of vote, honestly, because when I was 18, I was stupid. There's no way that I could decide, at that point in my life, who our next president should be.
So I have told you in the past this is a live show, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when you were 18, okay, we're gonna go with that. That's pretty. All right.
They're just, you know what I mean? They're so excited. They're on TV. They're like, oh my God, this is rocking their world right now.
Okay, this is the one. You remember, I have a time. I want this to start at 6 minutes and 19 seconds. Let's start this video here. This is Miss Gonzalez. This is Florida student to NRA and Trump. We call BS. Do you have that one?
How about we stop blaming the victims for something that was the shooter's fault? The fault of the people who let him buy the guns in the first place, those at the gun shows, the people who encouraged him to buy accessories for his guns to make them fully automatic, the people who didn't take them away from him when they knew that he expressed homicidal tendencies. And I am not talking about the FBI. I am talking about the people that he lived with. I'm talking about the neighbors who saw him outside holding guns. If the president wants to come up to me and tell me to my face that it was a terrible tragedy and how it should never have happened, and maintain telling us how nothing is going to be done about it, I'm going to happily ask him how much money he received from the National Rifle Association. 1.5 months in 2018 alone, that comes out to being $5,800. Is that how much these people are worth to you, Trump? If you don't do anything to prevent this from continuing to occur, that number of gunshot victims will go up, and the number that they are worth will go down. And we will be worthless to you. To every politician who is taking donations from the NRA, shame on you. Was as threatened as us, would your first thought be, how is this going to reflect on my campaign? Which should I choose? Or would you choose us? And if you answered us, will you act like it for once? You know what would be a good way to act like it? I have an example of how not to act like it. In February of 2017, 1 year ago, President Trump repealed an Obama-era regulation that would have made it easier to block the sale of firearms to people with certain mental illnesses. From the interactions that I had with the shooter before the shooting and the information that I currently know about him, I don't really know if he was mentally ill, but I wrote this before I heard what Delaney said. Delaney said that he was diagnosed. I don't need a psychologist, and I don't need to be a psychologist to know that repealing that regulation was a really dumb idea. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa.
There's a full list there. It goes on and on. You can only take so much of this young lady. Being upset is one thing. These kids are upset, and obviously for good reason. And the right to protest and the right to have their freedom of speech and the right to say what they want is protected by this Constitution. Okay, it's protected by this Constitution in every way, shape, and form, including the Second Amendment. So the First Amendment of freedom of speech, the Second Amendment is just as important of what you are saying, young lady. And I'm going to tell you this. If you cannot figure out that somebody wrote, see, the end all is get rid of Trump. No matter what, get rid of Trump. And you're not going to convince me that this young lady did not have that speech written for her. It was gone over for her. And in fact, I think we're going to be able to play a video that thanks her teachers. Yes, when they talk about the speech. Do we have that other video, that Twitter video? Can that be played? Listen closely and for this young lady to thank, because I'm going to tell you who this group is that's already has Miss Gomez. Is that her name, Gomez? Do I have that right? Gonzalez, Emma Gonzalez. Play that other video.
Get out there and vote. For the love of God, prevent this from happening at your school. People say that these kids don't understand what they're talking about. I took a class on this. I might not have been able to finish the class, but that's not my fault. I'm gonna go out of my way to continue studying this and making sure that my arguments are watertight and that anybody who has anything opposing to say gets the full clap back that they deserve. I know that it's hard to watch those videos and some people are saying, how dare they post something like that? No. If we had to live through it, you should have to live through it too. If that's what it's going to take for you to understand what it feels like, then watch the frickin' video. I don't need anybody to tell me that it was a good speech. I know that it was a good speech. And they were the reasons that I was able to make it good. Not today. Never again. This is not going to happen.
And I'm not going to let anybody say that this is how I should be feeling, because I know how I should be feeling. I'm the one who experienced it. We are the ones who experienced it. I hope to see a lot of vocal and physical support. People actually showing up for things just like this, overflowing with people.
I'm not going to wait for you to tell me that's a good speech. I know that was a good speech. Did she say teacher in there?
She didn't say teacher, but they had a written reference. That
oh, it is written, right?
Yeah,
I knew it said teacher. And I can't see it across the screen, but it says teacher, right?
Yeah, they had a written reference that her teachers wrote the speech.
Yes. Who's writing this who's writing the script for these kids, the Obama kids, huh? Who's writing the script? Wonder who? Huh? Wonder who? 2018. They will be gone. They say they will be gone. A badge of disgrace. Reading from a teleprompter. Boy, the media got down there with the satellite trucks for this one, didn't they? And what happened to domestic violence? It seemed like just yesterday domestic violence was a problem. I didn't, you know, is it me or did that leave the front page on the political side? How fast did that leave the front page? I'm your host, BKP. Let's take a break. We got 30 minutes, and then I want to give Amanda a chance to make any comments that she wants or anything that she's come up with.